this is the real freaking Carney stuff going on right now. Is the
Right.
stuff going on behind the scenes? Not saying that the
Exactly.
stuff in front of it isn't, but the stuff behind the scenes is the real Carney stuff. And then when the NWA came along, the idea was to take the commissions out of power by forming this coalition, this monopoly, and having the power to control wrestling.
Right, because the promoters were funding the commission, right? They're the ones that were paying the taxes and paying the taxes on the shows and all that. So the promoters were the revenue stream. So the NWA, Mushnick and Pinky George and those guys that formed it, they're like, hey, we have the control over these guys' cash coming in. Like, we should have more of a say here. And so slowly but surely, as the NWA grew, the commission influence shrank.
This is a bigger work than our business, right?
Yeah.
This is the real freaking Carney stuff going on right now. Is the
Right.
stuff going on behind the scenes? Not saying that the
Exactly.
stuff in front of it isn't, but the stuff behind the scenes is the real Carney stuff with these old Barnum and Bailey promoters with the cigars and top hats, and they're stealing money and all that. It's like there's some shady stuff going on.
Well, it's interesting, and what's great about these shows we're going to do here is we're going to see events with different people repeated a couple of times. Right, it's going to be the same situation with different names, except for a couple. And Jim Barnett's one of the guys who's always seems to be involved.
I was looking at a thing. You know, we did a take on Don Eagle and Gorgeous George, the screw job. We did a little show on it. You can check it out on our YouTube channel. But I was looking at because I was getting ready for our show today, and I was reading some stuff on it. And one of the big things on the internet was the first screw job, Don Eagle and Gorgeous George. Like, that's not even the top 100.
No,
The first screw jobs.
but it was probably the first nationally televised one.
Wow. Correct. Because they didn't have television for Wayne Munn and Stanislaw Zabisco or
Right.
Dick Schickhot and Dan O'Mahony or any of those guys back then.
Which was what made that screw job so effective for the purpose of it, which essentially was Fred Kohler making a point. He made a point nationwide, with that one, where it's, really affected things.
Always picking on the natives.
That's right. You notice how there was a native involved in that screw job and a referee named Earl.
Yeah.
Referee
a lot of
named Earl.
commonalities in history.
Yeah.
That's right.